Hello, welcome to my Mediterranean Anti-Cancer Kitchen. I'm Connor Middleman-Whitney. I'm a nutritionist, cookery instructor and author of Zest for Life, The Mediterranean Anti-Cancer Diet, a book I published in May 2011. Today we're going to be cooking a recipe out of this book. It's called a cherry tomato clafoutis. A clafoutis is normally a traditional sweet cherry pie eaten all over France, but we're having a savoury version of it made with tomatoes and basil. It's delicious and summery and very easy to make. So let's just take a quick look at the ingredients we'll be using for the clafoutis. First of all, 400 grams of cherry tomatoes. Tomatoes contain a lot of antioxidants which protect our cells from the kind of damage that can lead to cancerous changes. They're thought to protect especially men from prostate cancer because it's been found that men who eat a lot of tomatoes tend to have lower rates of prostate cancer. So do integrate them in your diet on a regular basis. Next, we have 200 grams of feta cheese, crumbled or cubed, whichever you prefer. Feta cheese is generally made from ewe's or goat's milk cheese and is much more easily to digest than cow's milk cheese. It's also a great source of calcium and protein. Next we have 350 millilitres of almond milk, which is a great substitute for dairy and has a very neutral flavour. Then we have 4 eggs, ideally laid by free-ranging chickens. Next we have freshly chopped fresh basil. Basil is a lovely summer herb that goes beautifully with tomatoes, and it also has lots of health benefits. For instance, it has anti-inflammatory effects, which is important in cancer prevention because inflammation is thought to fuel the growth of cancer cells. It's also antibacterial and quite powerfully so, and has antioxidant abilities. We're going to use a pinch of turmeric, which many of you probably know about. It's a spice that again has powerfully anti-inflammatory effects. A little bit of cornstarch just to thicken the pastry, the batter, and some salt and pepper. First I'm going to preheat the oven to 180 degrees. And then I'll just lightly oil the pie dish we'll be using. I just use a round pie dish that you can also use for sweet desserts and pies, tarts, anything like that. You can use oval dishes, square dishes, whatever you like, but roughly this volume. And oil it lightly or butter it if you prefer. There. Next we take a large mixing bowl and we break in our 4 eggs. Ooh, ideally without the shells. We don't want that much extra calcium. There we go. Then we add 2 tablespoons, level tablespoons of cornstarch. You can also use potato starch or arrowroot, or indeed wholemeal flour. I use cornstarch to avoid the gluten that a lot of people don't tolerate, but even flour works well. And then you start whisking until there are no more lumps left. You see, it becomes a smooth batter. You add some turmeric. I call it a pinch in the book, just sort of a sprinkling, a teaspoon, half a teaspoon to a teaspoon would be fine. Keep mixing. You can also use fresh turmeric, which is delicious, but not always easy to find. Health food shops often sell it, and you can grate it with a microplane grater. It's delicious and it's much sweeter tasting and very vibrantly coloured. And now we stir in the milk, like so. There we are. A pinch of salt. Not too much because the feta cheese is already quite salty. A good grind of pepper. Black pepper, is thought to reinforce the anti-inflammatory effects of turmeric. In fact, I'm going to put a bit more turmeric in there. Get it nice and golden. So more like a teaspoon, I think. And finally, about 2/3 of the basil. We're using about 2 to 3 tablespoons of chopped basil, or basil as they call it in the States. Now we're going to tip the tomatoes into the dish, spread them out evenly, tip the feta cheese. See, this is really quite a simple and fairly artless, one of them wants to get away, fairly artless recipe. It's very easy to do, it takes very little effort, It's great even if you're tired and if you're hot, so it makes a perfect summer lunch. And then we just pour over the batter, spreading out the basil evenly. Get all the nice turmeric and pepper out with the spatula. Again, mix it around a bit to make sure there's basil everywhere. If you have pine kernels, I didn't mention that in the recipe, but that looks lovely and tastes delicious. Pine kernels go beautifully with basil and tomato. Right, and then off it goes in the oven, which is now preheated, and about 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes time is what it should take. So 30 minutes later, let's have a look what's happened here. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. It's nicely risen, golden from the turmeric, little jewels of tomatoes spotted around the surface, and the lovely green basil that's spread nicely throughout. So either eat it straight away, it's nice and fluffy when it's fresh out of the oven. If you let it cool a bit, it'll go down, it'll still be just as delicious, and actually it's quite nice when it's lukewarm, especially when it's warm out. Accompany it with crispy boiled green beans or some florets of broccoli, or perhaps just a mixed green salad, and you'll have yourself a lovely summer lunch. Right, that's it for today. If you make this recipe at home, do send me your feedback, and if you'd like me to show you other recipes from Zest for Life, let me know which ones you'd like me to feature in these videos. Contact me by emailing me at Conner, C-O-N-N-E-R, @Nutraland.com, or simply look up Zest for Life on Facebook, or my name, Conner Middleman Whitney, also on Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you.